Welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Wyld Young.
And I'm Eric Colley.
Eric and I are in for Charlie and Charlie.
That's right.
Charlie Neff's out, but Charlie Cotton is supposed to be making his grand return to the TMZ podcast.
After some baby time.
After some baby time, after some diaper time. He's coming back on Monday. But for now, you got Eric and I.
That's right. And lucky you.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Pretty exciting stories today. An update on Diddy. Of course, we know he's jailed at MDC in Brooklyn. He was arrested on Monday. We're now learning that he was placed on suicide watch. His lawyers have since responded.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. We'll tell you all about it. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. One day they're headed for divorce. The next day they're still headed for divorce, but together?
Yeah, like they weren't even speaking to each other. And now they are together all the time.
Oh, we see them together more now than we did a couple months ago.
I know.
Ben and J-Lo back together. We'll tell you why, what they were doing. Shocking political story today. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is reportedly involved in a sexting scandal.
A sexting scandal. What?
Keep in mind, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a fella who is married and also of a certain age.
And so far, nothing's really happened to him, but something did happen to the woman.
Yes, very, very serious repercussions there. Also, Kamala Harris, she did sit down with Oprah last night. Shots were fired, or at least she threatened shots potentially could be fired. We'll tell you about that Kamala Harris sit down. And lastly, in our Almost News segment today, the story that has taken over, the Chinese panda dogs.
I love the Chinese panda dogs. My favorite thing all week.
Those were these panda dogs? Were they pandas? Were they dogs? The zoo has finally come clean. We'll tell you more. But first, Diddy, of course, we know he's jailed right now at the MDC in Brooklyn. He was arrested on Monday, hit with a slew of charges, racketeering, sex trafficking, amongst other things. We've now learned that Diddy has been placed on suicide watch. However, his lawyer says it's not necessarily what people think.
Right. This is just a standard thing the correctional facility does for anybody that's in a very high-profile case, like obviously he is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep a watch on the person. But he said, I've spoken to Diddy. He is in no way suicidal.
Yeah.
Of course, he's still maintaining his innocence in this.
Yep.
So he's like ready to defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
But this is it's standard operating procedure, and it makes sense for a case this high profile.
This high profile, also the stakes are very high in this, not only for Diddy, but for the victims. It's just a very, very intense case, probably one of the biggest cases to hit music in the hip hop world in a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just one of those things where the officials at at MDC are just kind of keeping an eye on him. His lawyer said he's, quote, strong, healthy, confident, and ready to focus on his defense. So,
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, Diddy seems to be gearing up for a defense. It'll be an interesting case. Interesting to see how it'll all play out.
It's gonna be, I don't know, maybe not trial of the century. That's a bit much to say, but
it'll be pretty intense.
It's going to be a lot of coverage. I think a lot of things are going to come out
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be so shocking.
So shocking. So to give you an update on just where we are now, so at the last bail hearing, Diddy's lawyer requested that Diddy be transferred to the Essex County Correctional Facility that's in Newark, New Jersey. Historically less intense, extreme than MDC.
Yeah. The place he is right now, it is notorious for not the best conditions always, and I'm sure he is anxious to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been home to a few other like high-profile celebrity inmates. R. Kelly was there.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell was there. Now Diddy.
And some people you do need to watch.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah, but imagine Diddy says he's fine, and I believe he is. But imagine something did happen, and they asked the corrections department. They're like, well, he said he was fine.
He said he was cool.
We didn't need to look at it.
So the transfer request, that matter is currently under review, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
They're watching Diddy, and we're going to be watching.
And we are going to be watching Diddy. I will say that the judge does not seem to be willing to back down easily.
No.
Coming really hard. They emphasize that they think that Diddy is a threat to not only the witnesses in the case, but the overall case, because there have been reports that he had been contacting witnesses. So they don't seem to be willing to...
He's a very powerful man.
Very powerful.
And they're very leery of just letting him out to do whatever he wants.
Absolutely. Moving on. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. They are headed for divorce. The divorce has been filed. However, still hanging out. We saw Ben and J-Lo, they attended a back-to-school night.
Isn't school already, hasn't been going like a month?
Yeah, I guess they start school like in end of August here.
Yeah, so why at the end of September are they going back to school night?
It's a little weird.
I don't know.
This is strange for a number of reasons. One, we know Jen has filed for divorce. The couple, they're separated. Ben has moved into a new house in Brentwood. From what we know, Jen has been essentially like house hunting on her own. They weren't even together that long. So
they were married 2 years to the day.
They were married literally almost a little over 2 years. And I understand, sometimes we see in situations where the couple has been together for a long time and they share children and they try to do things like for the good of the kids. We'll put on a united front for the good of the kids. However, Ben and J-Lo don't share any kids.
No, but we did see while they were married and when they were dating before that, the kids were very close.
Yes.
They became like really good friends, and Jennifer Lopez was always out with Ben's kids, and sometimes you'd see Jen Garner there too. They were doing like a triple co-parenting kind of thing. So if the kids are close, that is the hard part when you have, especially even older children like teens, and they start to become actual friends. You have this blended family.
Yeah.
But when the two of you split, well, that's not fair to the kids.
I guess it's not fair to the kids. I just don't think that Jen needs to go to Ben's kids back to school night, and I don't think Ben needs to go to Jen's kids after school night. The kids can hang out on the weekends, but it seems a little weird that they are still.
But he stays with his, he and Jen Garner have, granted, those are the kids they share together, but they've always been pretty amicable, at least publicly, since their divorce. So maybe this is just something he does. Just stays cool with the exes.
I can see that. All right. Well, yeah, I kind of think it's weird, to be honest, but.
Well, the weird thing with what was it they went to a couple nights ago, a thing for the kids, where they were seen holding hands and kissing.
Holding hands, yeah. They were out to dinner or at lunch or something, and the kids sat at a separate table. Yeah. And then from what we know, Ben and J-Lo sat at their own table, and they were like.
Which is coming off reports that when they were going through the divorce or leading up to it, they stopped being even on speaking terms at all.
Yeah, so none of this kind of makes sense.
How do you get from that? But they say they are not getting back together.
Still, the divorce is still on. From what we know, there are no hopes of reconciliation, but I guess they're amicable?
It looks that way.
It looks that way.
Unless they're just doing it for cameras, but then why? Because that's just kind of confusing.
Yeah, they're both really famous and really rich.
Yeah. I guess you could be cordial. I guess that's what they're doing. The kissing thing the other day, I don't know about. But they showed up, they're pleasant, the kids are there.
All right.
They know if they look angry that everybody's going to be like, they hate each other.
Right. I guess this is all better than the alternative, which is them being angry at each other.
Right.
Moving on. This story shocked me so much this morning. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., former political candidate for president of the United States, has been involved in a scandal with a political reporter by the name of Olivia Nuzzi. And these are stemming from allegations that the two reportedly had a sexting relationship.
Had a sexting relationship. She interviewed him for a feature. She worked for New York Magazine, which has now put her on leave.
Yes.
So she's feeling some consequences for this because you can't have an involved personal relationship with a subject, a political subject that you are covering. That is so violates everything. They went on a hiking excursion together as part of that interview. They both say nothing physical ever happened between them, which I can believe.
Right.
I can believe that.
I can believe that, of course.
But yeah, they were doing some sort of dirty texting.
Something. So Olivia Nuzzi herself issued a statement saying that she communicated with a former reporting subject and some of those exchanges turned personal. So kind of confirming reports that she had at least a personal relationship with a subject, that subject being presumably Robert F. Kennedy Jr. However, a rep for RFK told the Post that Kennedy has met Olivia only once for an interview she requested, which turned out to be a, quote, hit piece. However, there was not any addressation of the alleged sexting relationship.
Yeah, and this is rough. I feel kind of bad for Cheryl Hines, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s wife.
That is the only person I feel bad for.
I know,
Cheryl Hines.
and especially because, it's bad in any situation.
Yes.
But, after he dropped out and endorsed Trump, because she's very left, all these people attacked her and like, how can you stand by your husband when he's endorsing Trump?
And she stood by her man.
And she stood by her man and took all this public embarrassment over it. And now this.
You cheated on me with Olivia Nuzzi?
On sexting. I want to read it so badly, though.
Yeah.
What? Because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the guy that found a dead bear cub and then staged a death scene at Central Park with a bicycle.
Yes.
He's an odd dude.
He is a
the whale
strange
thing
pickle.
and all that.
Yes.
What does he sext? What is
is it like a photo? Is it like a selfie, or is it like maybe like words?
Yeah, even like what does he say? What is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s dirty talk?
I feel like people of a certain age are a little more like smart with their words, so he's probably sexting some like romantic
You think so?
paragraphs. Yeah, I can see that.
Or I
Like,
think because he's so always like, girl, show me your ankles. He
Let
ain't
me
that
see
old.
your brassiere. Like it's one of those. It's probably like really romantic. It's not like us.
Yeah.
We're just like sitting a pick. Well, like I said,
I got rose petals on the bed.
yeah, like it's so
Undo your
sweet.
blouse.
Undo your blouse. Let me rub my hands against your supple skin.
All right,
Like,
this is getting
oh
weird
my
now.
God.
All right, this took a turn.
So we'll have to see. I mean, we don't have to see where it unfolds. Newsy has been placed on leave for violating the publication standards after she engaged in a quote personal relationship with former
Which is
subject.
fair. I mean, you can't do that when you're covering a subject.
Can't do that at all.
Yeah, you're not objective at all.
In other political news, Kamala Harris, she did sit down with Oprah last night and shocked the world, essentially, when she said, Oprah essentially was like, I was surprised when I found out that you were a gun owner. And here's what Kamala Harris had to say.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
powerful.
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
My staff will deal with that later.
I like this.
Yeah, she's like,
Like-
in my house, you're getting shot.
She letting y'all know straight from the rip. Don't try that over here. Now, I am not a gun owner. Blah. I am not a gun owner. Don't own guns. I'm just not a fan of guns.
Yeah.
But like, if you break into my house, you getting whatever you get. And it might be like stabbed in the neck.
You're like, I don't have a baseball bat either.
No, I have weapon. I mean, to let y'all know. You will get,
Don't come for Wyld.
don't come for me. But like,
Yeah.
I get it. And I think that that's any person. I don't even want to just limit it to only Americans, but like any person, if someone breaks into your house, you have to defend yourself and your property.
And I get you saying this because, there's always this idea to have any kind of gun laws in this country to stop all the mass shootings quickly becomes they're coming to take your guns away.
Right.
And she is trying to be very clear. I am not trying to take anybody's guns away. There's
Yep.
been no effort to make that happen through
Mhm.
Biden's administration, through Obama's administration. It's weird to me watching to see the Democratic nominee for president bragging about, if you break in my house, I'm shooting you.
Yeah.
I feel like Trump has taken the Republican Party so far one way, and now Kamala's trying to go more to the middle to get all the people
To get
that
those, yep.
think he's a
mhm.
bit much. Like, I think we're seeing the parties shift a bit about what they're about.
About what we've kind of seen that. We've seen Kamala kind of shift her position on things. And I would say it depends on the day, but even Donald Trump sometimes seems to be a little more open to a lot of like liberal ideals.
Yeah.
And we're seeing kind of Kamala kind of step into that ring, at least kind of in the gun ownership right. But she did say that gun laws still need to be in place and we still need to kind of enforce or banning assault weapons. He is kind of still standing on that platform. But she thinks Americans have a right to own guns, which,
Yeah, nobody's saying
yeah, you can still keep your
abolish guns. If somebody is, it's like a super fringy,
Yeah.
crazy person. But no, main politician has been like, we're coming to take all of your guns
Coming
away.
to take your guns away.
I don't know. But
We have bigger
we'll see if
fish
it works
to fry.
for her.
Oh, all right. I like it. Moving on to our almost news segment. There is a zoo in China who went viral this week because zoogoers, they noticed the pandas looked a little off. Specifically after the pandas started panting and barking.
And had little curly tails.
And had like and blue tongues.
Yeah, and blue tongues.
So, if you hadn't seen it, there are these panda dogs that the zoo literally labeled as pandas.
Yeah.
So people thought that they were coming to the zoo and seeing pandas, and they get there and there are these barking chow chows that had their faces painted to look like pandas.
And first the zoo tried to say they were panda dogs, some
So
weird breed.
A specialty, a rare breed of pandas.
Yeah, no.
That no one in the world has seen before.
No, now they are just coming out admitting, yep, we painted some dogs. We didn't
Yeah.
have pandas. We know visitors want to see pandas. We didn't have any right then.
So they dyed 2 chow chows. Now, if you've never seen a chow chow, they're like these really fluffy, kind of bear-y
Yeah.
looking dogs anyway.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you squint,
kind of from a distance.
turn your head to the side.
Don't listen to them bark.
Yeah. Cover your ears. Like, they might look a little panda-esque. Now,
I get people are upset. They want refunds, people who are there, because you duped us.
mhm,
I kind of love the panda dogs.
same.
I think there should be a zoo that is just all dogs made up to look like other animals.
Other animals. Wait, I love
If you
that.
advertise it that this is what it is, we're not trying to trick you.
Right.
If you want to come see a bunch of dogs that look like other animals, lion dogs,
Sign me up.
Tiger dogs.
Sign me up.
I will be there in a heartbeat.
Honestly, I want to go to China to the Shanghai Zoo to see the panda dogs. Like, I want to know.
Now you're disappointed if you go and there's
And they
actual
got
pandas
real
there.
pandas. I'm like,
Like,
please. Where
some
the
lazy
dogs at?
panda rolling around
Just
eating.
rolling around eating bamboo and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I want to see some dogs. They said the disguises were the best alternative they could do.
Was it really? Was it really? Other than just saying, hey, we're sorry, the pandas are
They really said, take what you
at the
get and don't
vet
get
or
upset. Like,
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fully hate the panda dog idea, but
I want to see the panda chows now because that dye is not going to wear off that fast.
it is not.
So
They look just like dogs. If you're listening on podcast, you got to check us out on YouTube. Search TMZ Podcast. These things look just like damn
they
dogs.
don't look anything like pandas. Other than the coloring.
Not even remote. Like, they even got the color off. Oh my God. I kind of love this though.
I do too. I can't be mad at it.
So shout out to the Shanghai Zoo.
Yeah.
Now you know if you go to the zoo, that zoo, particularly in China, you will see panda dogs.
Or actual pandas. Blah.
Ah,
Boring. Who
boo.
cares?
All right, moving on. Today in history. Today is National Fried Rice Day.
Delicious.
I was about to say, I do love fried rice. I like it any kind of way. I like chicken fried rice, shrimp fried rice. Throw it all in there.
Crab fried rice is good.
Ooh, crab
Yeah.
fried rice.
Mhm.
Eric.
All kinds of good fried rice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. On this day in 1960, the Flintstones debuted on ABC.
Did you ever watch the Flintstones as a kid?
No, because I was very young, but I did watch the Flintstones movie that they made.
Oh,
That was so good.
oh, you love the Flintstones?
Yes, it's like a classic.
Wait, the live action one
Yes.
with John Goodman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You don't love it, Eric?
No, that movie was such a. I mean, it didn't bomb when it came out.
No.
But everybody was like, I always remember the funniest review I remember seeing. I can't remember who said it. It was just a one-word review that just said "yabba dabba don't."
It is the y'all. It is arguably.
But you
one of
were
my
like a
favorite-
little kid.
Yeah,
so,
I'm very young.
yeah.
So okay, do y'all also like it? All of our
They're too
producers-
young
I was
for
about
it.
to say,
They don't know it
everybody
all.
else in
I
the
remember
room
the actual cartoon. I mean, not from 1960,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was in reruns
for a while. Yeah, no, I
till
like
2000s, I
I
think.
love the Flintstones movie. Sheesh.
Yeah.
All right. 1969, the Archies hit Sugar Sugar. Became the #1 song in the country.
Not the Baby Bash song. Is that what you're thinking of? Sugar,
you
sugar.
know, Eric, that's what I'm thinking of. But 1969, I figured it was like the
You know,
original.
it's
Sing a little bit.
sugar, sugar, dun 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 dun.
I know
honey,
that.
honey, dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. I always love that when like baby boomers say, we had the best music in the '60s. We had the Beatles and Motown and the Stones, and you guys just have crap. The two biggest songs of 1969, like the peak of that, was Bubblegum, Sugar Sugar by the Archies, and Dizzy by Tommy Rowe.
Not much
I like both of
substance,
those songs,
yes.
but I'm like, y'all like some goofy,
Yeah,
stupid,
it's a-
catchy bubblegum pop
yeah,
too.
'cause
Don't
that's some pop. Yeah.
don't like act like it was all Sgt. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. All right. On this day in 2014,
Oh, you skipped 84. Something big happened. You don't want to talk about that, do you?
I was going to skip it just
come
because. All right. And on this day in 1984, The Cosby Show premiered on NBC. I feel like a lot of people have a conflicted relationship with The Cosby Show now.
You can't deny how important that show was.
Absolutely.
It was a game-changing show for a lot of things, and if you can separate that from what we know about Bill Cosby now, it was an important show.
Was an important show.
It was funny.
And it was really good. Okay.
But can't watch it now though.
Yeah, not without it being tarnished.
Yeah.
All right. On this day, 2014, the Meghan Trainor song, All About That Bass, became the #1
No
song in the
trouble.
country.
For 8 weeks, that was a big #1. hit.
Killing it, Meghan Trainor. All right, really quick, birthdays today. Philip Phillips from American Idol.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Not long after you're gone. And then Gary Cole.
Yeah, from he played. I think he was the dad in the Brady Bunch movie. And he had a show called Nightcaller, I think. I don't know. This is a long time ago.
I was say I'm also too young for that. All right,
I'm
well,
a little young for that.
Eric, thanks a lot for joining me.
Yeah, it was good to be here.
Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, you all. And like I said, the Charlies will be back on Monday. Have a good weekend. We'll see you all next week.